So we're starting with a somewhat surprising update on the veil has finally been lifted on the Wizarding World open world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy. So this was announced officially back in September 2020, is long rumored for a long time, and it has already suffered one delay. I think we were all sort of wondering that this was going to be delayed again, but no, they're saying it's coming out holiday 2022 on all platforms, including the Switch, which is interesting. So it's developed by Avalanche Software, behind Toy Story 3 and Disney Infinity series, and published by Warner Brothers Portkey Games label. Initial impressions, Mike, you watched the State of Play, right?
I have, and holy moly. So I am not to
Harry Potter.
put a bit of context onto this, I'm not a Harry Potter fan at all. I read
You're a
the
J.K.
original
Rowling
book.
fan, but not a Harry Potter fan, right?
No, I'm not a fan of any of the whole thing. And it's not because they're not good books or anything like that, or because the characters aren't
Have you
great.
read
I
them?
think I have. I read
Okay.
the first and the second book.
Oh, okay. And you didn't like them?
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
No, no,
interesting.
I think because I read them much later in life,
Yeah.
and by that stage, I had already read books like Magician. I played a shit ton of games that
Come on,
were a
we
lot
were
more...
already all old by the time these books came
That's
out.
the
Come on.
thing. Well, I feel like we were old enough that I had already read a lot of way more mature stories before that, so I just didn't get into it as
Sextress.
much.
You were a changed man
Exactly.
after that.
I was a changed man after that. So,
And that was
I'll
a
say that.
seven.
However, in saying all of that, this looks spectacular. This looks amazing. It looks like something that even if I'm not into Harry Potter, I want to give this a crack. It just looks so good. And it's hard to kind of judge what the gameplay is going to be like. You can, to the extent of, I can see you can brew potions and it's probably going to do this and it's going to do that. And you can sort of see the abilities that you are. And no doubt in the game is going to be a HUD, so it's a bit different. But it just looks like it's solid. It looks like it's got a really good story, potentially. Amazing graphics for this kind of a game. And I'm actually looking forward to this. I never thought I'd say I'd be looking forward to a Harry Potter game, but
Yeah.
here we are. This looks great.
And before Swinny corrects you, like I know he would, it's not Harry Potter. It's in that kind of universe.
Yeah, it's in that universe. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's I think 200 years before the Harry Potter events and that timeline. So they've definitely tried to separate it as well. So there's not going to be any crossover or anything like that. I'm in the same camp as you, man. Like I had zero interest in this game,
Yeah, same.
negative interest, honestly. It's just
Yeah.
like this IP, we're all too old for it. And I haven't read any of the books. Like I kind of got to a point where I'm like, I'm way too old to read Harry Potter, in my opinion. I'm not judging anyone who does, but then I got to a point where I'm like, I probably want to read them, but I'll read them to my kids, right? So that's kind of like the journey I'm on now. So probably in I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I'll start reading them to my eldest. So then I'll finally, see what, if Harry Potter is any good. I'm sure it's really excellent, just by the fact that I've kind of not really heard of anyone say they're bad books. I might not love them, but anyway, getting back to this game, yeah, it looks really it looks way more polished than I was expecting. I don't know why, but I was just thinking, oh man, this game's going to be really bad and really not play well, but it looks really interesting. How about you, Swinny?
Well, yeah, I guess you guys covered this about your familiarity with the Wizarding World, Harry Potter's, the Fantastic Beasts, and all that stuff. I've never read the books. I've watched the first 4 movies. I thought the first 2 were utter shite, and the third and fourth were really good. So I probably should have read the books, but I don't think I would have ever expected to be hyped for a Harry Potter related video game. And I'm pleasantly surprised that this game looks absolutely awesome and looks graphically absolutely stunning. This is obviously
shockingly
running.
so, right?
Yeah, now we know that State of Play footage is PlayStation 5 footage, and they did say that some of it is a mix of gameplay, some of a mix of cutscenes. But even the ones that look like it's obviously gameplay look fantastic. I know that the Harry Potter video games been a little mixed in the past. Some people love them. Obviously, they also grew up, reading, and probably that helped with appreciating the games more. But I don't think we've ever had a game in this world that blew people away. And
No,
that's so I think it's good that people are finally getting that.
They
Or
don't
at least
even.
I will say it seems like they're finally getting that.
And it also is like one of those series where, you know, at least with Star Wars, there's all these sub series of video games in Star Wars universe where people really love it. Like the X-Wing series, you know, and then like Lego, you know, they've got their thing that they do. Like for me at least, I can't even tell you one Harry Potter game. Like it doesn't feel like any of them resonate or have like made a mark. It's all that traditional like sort of IP fodder that they put out there. I'm sure there's decent enough games, but I think this is going to be the first that actually cuts through to regular folk.
Well, the Lego Harry Potter games are actually pretty decent.
Yeah, but I just put that in that Lego category, right? Because you could make anything
I
Lego
know.
X.
But I'm
right?
just linking it to what you just said about Star Wars, so at least it has that. But yeah, no, definitely, there's no Jedi Knight equivalent, you know.
Yeah.
The Star Wars game, you're like, okay, that was the one at the time that people are, oh my god, this game, you know. So.
And then I kind of wonder, like, if this game is very successful, will they do a follow-up that they actually have it set in the Harry Potter time period?
Maybe that's a license to print money as well. So
Well, that's kind of what I wonder. It's like, you know, because it's very smart if that's what they've actually done here. They've made it in like a different part, so then it's not connected, and you're not going to get any backlash. And if people go, you know what, the formula's great, like, you know, put DLC, make a stack of money, and then, you know, 5 years time, bang, hey, the same type of game, but it's set, and you play as Harry Potter or something like that. I feel like people go apeshit for that.
Yeah, and I think it's the community manager for, I can't remember if it was community manager for Avalanche or on the Warner Brothers side, but they've clarified that there won't be microtransactions in this game, and a lot of people were almost expecting it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's good to know. It's really good to know after that long discussion we had about bloody Gran Turismo 7 earlier. So.
And I know this, you guys are going to get annoyed throughout the year. I'm very carefully monitoring what games could be potentially Game of the Year nominees, because I want to try to play all of those this year. And I feel this could be a smoky. Like, I don't know exactly when it's going to get released. If it's released in December, I think it will struggle, obviously. But if it's released in November, I think that, because you can't underestimate like video game journalists love Harry Potter, man. They freaking love Harry Potter and that universe. Like, they're a bit younger than us. They all read the books. Like, they have to vote on what games are going to go in there. And I just feel like this game, it wouldn't shock me. Like, which is a massive turnaround in my mind. From going, you know, this could be a car wreck, this game, to being like, fuck, this could be a really decent game. So, yeah, I guess we'll check it out later in the year. And for our